Hello everybody and welcome back to our YouTube channel. My name is Lauren.
I'm Coach Kyle.
And yes, we are the coaches at TeamCosmicBodies. I am an IFB Bikini Pro competing on the Mr. Olympia and Arnold stage. And Kyle has been coaching me for years.
Yeah, I'm an amateur bodybuilder. I tried, but definitely mainly a coach. We've been coaching since 2015. Full-time since 2017. And yeah, we're excited to be back on the YouTubes. So comment below what you want to see from us, and let's get into this one.
Yes, so in today's topic, we're going to be talking about how to deal with hunger while you are cutting, or say you're in a contest prep even. So you're cutting in a contest prep, and yeah, I had a client ask me this the other day. She's like, hey Lauren, do you have any tips? Because I'm getting hungry here. She's down 20 pounds. She still has a little bit more to go for that stage level conditioning.
And before the tips, we could also talk about how we structure kind of a strategy and plan already without the tips. Like, we already structure your plan if you were coached by us. This is how we structure it. So a couple tips right there would be, we usually have people eat a higher protein diet. They are cutting. So when you are in a calorie deficit and you're eating less, you're trying to like lose body fat, right? So a big thing is having the higher protein diet because it helps you stay more satisfied, and then it does help with recovery. But yeah, there's just a large thermic effect within the food. So that is one thing, is we actually will suggest you eating higher protein diet. Again, it helps you stay more satisfied. We give some tips on nutrient timing and routine. Why don't you go about routine though a little bit? About
I think the biggest thing when you are going into a diet, whether that's 12 weeks long or, you know, at most maybe 24 weeks long, I mean, however long you're going to go into this diet for, you have to set yourself up for success. So you have to kind of think ahead and think about, okay, is this a good time in my life to be doing this cut or to be doing this contest prep? Like, is this a really busy time in my life where I'm very stressed out? Like, maybe you have a new job coming up, or kids, or traveling, like tons of traveling. Like, I just wouldn't suggest really honing in on this prep or fat loss phase, because routine is everything. Like, routine is everything when you're going to diet. Because if your routine is thrown off, you're staying up really late, you're waking up really early in the morning, something's thrown off your routine, that's when you're gonna get thrown off, and you're gonna get hungry, you're gonna get moody, you're gonna get irritated.
So sleep routine.
Yeah, but I'm just saying the whole routine of you, like, knowing that these next 12 weeks, I need to dedicate myself to this very good routine for myself, which we're going to go over here.
Sleep and having a routine, just staying hydrated, all those kind of basic things are pretty obvious, but people do forget that. And so tips with being hungry, and more so stuff is, what do you do? What are like some experienced tips?
Well, yeah, I do have experienced tips, but like going back, yeah, I mean, the sleep is obviously really important, because if you, like, especially if I don't get like my 8 hours, I'll wake up the next day and just feel off. Like, I'm just off, I'm moody, and I'm not motivated to do a lot of things. But yeah, I mean, little tips and tricks here that I use is drinking a lot of water. Like, I always keep a water next to me, whether that's my gallon or a cup of water or a water bottle, my blender bottle, because that's just going to fill up your stomach and keep you more satisfied. Especially like before and after I eat a meal, I make sure I hydrate, because that already kind of fills up my stomach as well. Then I drink a lot of like teas too. Like when we're dieting, we do pull out a lot of the tea bags, and there's so many good flavors out there of teas now. I like this licorice one that I always do during contest prep.
Yeah, I think some other tips is not snacking. I mean, even if you're tracking it and everything like that, I think it's fine here and there, and it could be a good tool and preference for some people, but most times it's better just going back to that whole protein thing. You eat your meal like the protein feeding with it. So if you're having 7 meals a day and snacking, and you're just kind of eating all the time,
it's gonna fly away all your food.
Compared if you have a large bolus or bigger meal, right? Let's say you only have 4 meals or 3 meals a day, you will have more of a thermic effect. It'll keep you more satisfied. So sometimes that whole 7, 8 meals just doesn't work out. It's better to have 4 or 5. Again, it's a preference though. So if you want 5, because that helps, that's fine.
For me, I would do 4 because it would be bigger and it would be more satisfying.
Yeah. So nutrient timing can help. So having like even protein at each meal, right? Compared to just a bunch of protein at the end of the night. That'll help. So nutrient timing, if you are doing everything else correctly, such as the training and nutrition, calorie-wise, right? You're actually tracking your calories somewhat and putting yourself in a deficit, you might want to start thinking about nutrient timing. Like that is the next thing on the list that'll be important for you. And I think it will help with hunger tips, is basically putting like carbs around your, let's say you wake up, you have fat and protein at a meal, and then you wait and you have your pre-workout meal, which is more protein and carbs, and then you train, you come back, you have more protein and carbs, and then that 4th meal later in the day is kind of more that fat and carbs and protein. So just kind of separating your fat and your carbs, basically, if it's, you want to put your carbs around your workout.
Yeah, I mean, that when I'm prepping or when I'm in a fat loss phase mini cut, I literally have it all timed out where I'm eating meal 1 at 9 a.m. and I know I'm eating meal 2 at 12 because I'm then training at 2, and then I have the post-workout meal, and then I have the dinner. And when my calories do get really low, in the morning, maybe I'm just eating protein and fat, like Kyle was saying, and then I only have 2 carb meals. Maybe that's pre and post workout, or like where my only carb meals are.
Or it could be whatever preference fits your lifestyle and stuff too.
And then I find out at the end of the night, maybe that's where I have maybe the more voluminous meal, because I'm more hungry at night. Everybody is, everybody's hungry at more times of the day, but for me, I'm more snacky and hungry at night. So maybe that's when I have like my bigger salad or my asparagus, where it's just more voluminous.
I think we could even talk about some tips just right away is, I don't know if you should be drinking a ton of calories and eating a ton of processed food. If you're in a cut and you're feeling super hungry, you might want to have whole foods and some fiber, and maybe you stay away from rice as much as you were when you're eating a ton, and you're going to eat more potatoes. Or instead of eating a ton of green beans and carrots and peas, you're like, okay, I'm going to eat a little bit more asparagus and strawberries and spinach and less dense foods. So I think that is kind of a tip, is don't eat a bunch of high calorie carbs, and you eat more of the lower calorie carbs that are filling and satisfying. Like potatoes are very filling and satisfying. There's like voluminous. So
there is a time and place to eat voluminous.
Yeah.
Don't start it off day 1 of contest prep where you're pulling out like
everything. You can a little bit. Like
you need to slowly. Maybe there's like a little time period where you're going to eat a little bit more volume because you just need to stay a little bit more fuller for longer. And
then what do we tell our clients anyway?
Just eat whole foods in general?
No, but like with the whole high volume, if you're doing it too much.
Oh, you're going to get extremely bloated, and you're going to feel bad.
Well, that too, yeah. I mean, the whole protein.
Or you'll get food focused.
Yeah, the whole protein ice cream that people do, all that xanthan gum. Watch out on how much xanthan gum you use for these protein to thicken it up. Watch out how much xanthan gum you use. No, what I was going to say is basically, you're going to be hungry anyway.
Oh, yes.
You really are. So you got to kind of remember you signed up for this, and some people can handle hunger a lot better than others, and it's just kind of a willpower mindset thing. And so you're gonna be hungry no matter what. So you don't want to necessarily spend a ton of time in the kitchen. You don't necessarily want to like go in there and not be prepared. So it's nice to just have your meals prepped ahead of time, or you kind of already know what you're gonna do when you're in the kitchen. You already have kind of measurements. You don't have to sit there and do a bunch of math, and you're not trying to make every single meal high volume and you're spending all your time in the kitchen. You have other responsibilities maybe. So I guess a couple things to note is like you're going to be hungry anyway, and I think high volume is a tool, and it's a good tool, and you can use it, but just don't be excessive with it. So
it's good to stay busy too. go run that errand when you're, you know, maybe you have 2 more hours before your next meal or something. You're just like, oh my gosh, I'm so hungry. Though hunger will kind of subside too if you just kind of push through it a little bit. So maybe go on a walk outside.
Yeah,
go run that errand.
Real quick, initially it will be a transition too, and then I think once you get into a rhythm of eating lower calorie and you start seeing some progress on the scale, it will get easier. But yeah, go back to your tips like teas, errands, going on a walk.
Yeah.
What else?
Yeah, staying busy. I mean, working. I mean, if you have like a full-time job, I think that's honestly great because you're so busy throughout the day that, like, you know, some of my clients skip meals. They're like, oh my gosh, I was working. I had to, like, you know, eat my meal. And then, so I think it's good to stay busy. But yeah, like you're going to be hungry no matter what. You're going to get motivated with your progress too. Like the first couple of weeks do maybe suck a little bit because you don't really see that initial progress yet. But then you're like, dang, look at me. Like I'm getting leaner and tighter. It's motivating. You don't really want to mess up that progress. You want to keep going. And then especially you kind of get numb to it as well. Especially if you have like a really big goal that you may have in your fat loss, whether you're getting ready for your wedding day or you have a big, you know, vacation or photo shoot lined up. I mean, you kind of just get numb to the feeling of being hungry. And, you know, I've been doing this for so long that I just don't even really, you know,
you
you stay focused.
I
know how to deal with it.
Stay focused on the goal and know your why. And then you just got to know that, like, everything adds up. And basically, I think Lauren has a really good standard set for herself initially with all this process, because let's say you try to cut all the time and then you just totally always give in and just even like the first day you're cheating on your diet or the first week you're cheating on your diet. So it's almost like alcoholism where you kind of have to say no to yourself a lot initially, and then it gets easy and you're not even having to do it anymore.
That's
so
true.
So it's like initially it's going to be tough, but then you just stay so focused. And you're just like, I'm gonna do this. I don't care how hungry I am. Another thing I tell people is you have body fat on you, right? You have energy stored on you, and you are having meals come in. And we do things responsible, so we're never gonna crash diet you where you're eating absolutely nothing. Like there's meals coming in, so you just gonna have to tell yourself, it's like, I'm not gonna die. Like we have food coming in. This isn't life or death.
It's not like you're not eating all day today.
And then if you just start making wins, you say no to any of those cravings and triggers, and then after a few weeks or whatever it may be, it's easy to say no. You have that momentum where it's like, this is who I am, this is my lifestyle. So compared to if you just give in, and then it's so easy to keep giving in. You know?
And we do very well with the macros. Like I'm saying, protein, you're having protein at every meal. Protein's high. Also, I think a big thing is the fat. I think having fat in your diet is really important. We don't drop fat below 40 even.
It just depends on how many calories per pound of body weight. So everyone's different. But yeah, we don't drop the calories below 9 or 8.5 calories
you stay satisfied as well.
Per body fat, per body pound. So we'll never get too aggressive like you see some of these crazy meal plans that are sub 1,000 calories and stuff like that. So there's stuff in the back pocket you want to keep, right? If you're pulling this stuff out like week day one, you know, so you do want to keep some of those supplements in the back pocket. What would you say you kind of...
Yeah, I mean, obviously caffeine is great, a great tool to kind of suppress your appetite, you know, throughout contest prep. And you know, dieting down here, I'll probably drink a little bit more caffeine, but I'm realizing that it kind of suppresses my appetite a little bit. You know, Legion that I work with has some appetite suppressant stuff that they sell on their website.
Yeah, you might want to be doing a little bit more coffee, more caffeine in general.
5-HTP is a good supplement out there.
It helps with mood enhancing and it blunts your appetite, but you do want to be careful with the mood enhancers like 5-HTP if you have a lot of anxiety or depression. You want to be careful of 5-HTP because if you got off of it, you just might have a few down days. So it's not like a big deal or anything. It's just if you're on antidepressants, you might want to talk to your doctor about 5-HTP. But anyway, 5-HTP is something we do bring at the end of a cut or after the cut ends, and it helps blunt your appetite, improves your mood, and it really does work. Like when food's really low, It actually does, because I get irritable, so I like 5-HTP. But yeah, caffeine, 5-HTP. Some people like the yohimbine HCl, which is a stimulant, as you know, like caffeine's a stimulant. People do it fasted cardio with it.
That used to really suppress my appetite when I would do it during a training
Again,
session.
if you have anxiety problems, and you're not going to go do fasted cardio, don't be taking yohimbine HCl. But yeah, anyway, there are some supplements that are over the counter and safe and natural still that help improve your mood, blunt your appetite, and it's just something to note. And caffeine's probably the one that's the most abused, so you probably should still cycle it here and there as far as the caffeine. And you know, whenever you do like a deload week or something, you're using less caffeine, or whenever you're not cutting, don't be blasting the energy drinks and be like, I'm about to start a cut, and you're blasting energy drinks.
Yeah, you gotta prepare yourself for the prep. So yeah, leave all these things in your back pocket when you can pull it out when you really need them, when calories do get low. But guys, literally at the end of the day, the biggest thing is just preparing yourself for the day. So go on your MyFitnessPal or your meal plan, type everything you're gonna eat out for the day, because that's gonna keep you on track, where you're not going in the kitchen going, what the heck am I eating? And you're like, dang, I only have 2 carbs left for the day. Like, yeah, you're gonna be starving. So you just have to really plan out the day, how many meals you're gonna eat that day, when you're gonna be home having dinner, and just planning it all out, because that's literally gonna set you up for success. Yeah, or it's not noon and you're like, I ate all my carbs now. Oops, you're screwed. Yeah, you're gonna be hungry for the rest of the day.
Yeah, do it the night before or the morning of, or make a meal plan for yourself, or you know, as long as you're kind of eating a little bit of variety and fruit and vegetables here and there, and switching the meal plan out here and there too. But that is something a lot of people who are super busy like to do, right? She mentioned going on errands. If I go on errands, I'm bringing a meal usually too, just in case something happens. So that is another
car breaks down. Or...
Yeah, and then you're just like starving, you come home and get off track. So being prepared is definitely going to be a big thing. So hopefully there are some good tips in there. If they have more questions, comment down below. And yeah,
we'll see you in the next one. Bye.